Hi, can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm quite well. I'm glad we could finally meet.
Likewise. Yes, likewise. I'm gonna plug in my earpods here for a second. There we go. Yeah, I am as well. Thank you for making time.
Of course, of course. And I just wanted to apologize. My camera is off right now just because my camera is not working, not because of anything else.
No worries. No worries.
All right. So, are you excited to get started?
Yeah, I'm ready. So you'll ask me a question, I'll answer it, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, it should be pretty short, about like 5 to 10 minutes. And
Perfect.
yeah, and it should be pretty lax, nothing too professional. So, I'm just gonna start speaking right now, and then we'll just go from there. So, hi, my name is Abhinav Vishnavajala, and I'm an intern at Project Humanities. And just in case anyone doesn't know, Project Humanities is a program meant to bring people of different backgrounds together through the power of the humanities. And for the 10-year anniversary of the project, we're interviewing our supporters and asking them to say a few words about the project as a whole. And right now, I'm here with the valued supporter. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you get to watch this. My name is Ellie Hutchinson, and I have been following Project Humanities since 2012. So it is great to be here with you all, even virtually.
All right, so I guess my first question should be, how long have you known about this project and how did you get involved?
Yeah, thank you. I've known about the project since 2012, a little bit thereafter. I had the privilege of participating, or I should say, hearing Dr. Lester speak at the East Valley NAACP Awards in August of 2012, and was just really blown away. At that time, I was a student at a seminary in Philadelphia and had come back for a funeral of a loved one. And so to be able to see that thoughts like I was learning in the Philadelphia area was happening, or were happening over here in the Southwest, was really, really exciting. That wasn't my experience the first time I lived out here. And so I have followed Dr. Lester, stayed in touch with him. I worked as an intern and as a volunteer with a group that he participated on I should say early on, with a group called Phonetic Spit. And I don't believe that program's around any longer, but it was a youth-based spoken word poetry program in schools throughout Phoenix and Mesa area. And so Dr. Lester, when I made some time and ran into him again, he introduced me to Phonetic Spit. And then from there, we've always just stayed in touch. I had worked for a state-run humanities organization at one point, and he was the reason why I got that job. And I just really tried to live up to the expectations that he had set forth for people in his presentations and in his calls for, the tenets of humanity, and have been blessed to actually moderate a couple of the conversations that has had when former Johnny Martin was the former program coordinator, I believe. Him and I had worked together on some of those projects in the early part of doing moderating and just participating. And then more recently, I've participated in a few of the programs. And so if I don't attend because I'm moderating, or I don't attend because I'm asked to be a participant, then I am attending because I think that all of the topics and the approach and just the creativity has just been phenomenal and unmatched by any other program in the state of Arizona, and quite frankly, in any other major institution that I've been a part of.
Wow, that's amazing. So you've been with this project for about like 9 years now. Wow. So of course, this is a super long time. So my next question is going to be, how have you like seen it grow and change over these years?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great question. I would say, just from the early onset of just moving back to Arizona and becoming aware of all of the things again, I started to realize and observe how Dr. Lester and Project Humanities was just a real big support organization for other small organizations. They were doing some internal humanities work, the development of Project Humanities from what I recall, but where I ran into them most in the public facing side off of the university campus was supporting different programs, doing work with, for instance, I shared earlier with Phonetic Spit and some of the other organizations. They also partnered with Arizona Humanities Council, that it was known at that time, and then I think it's Midwest Bank or a bank out here too. So I've seen a lot of the public facing partnerships that it seemed like the staff, the volunteers, the interns, and Dr. Lester have cultivated early on. And then it's moved into kind of bridging that university and public divide, or trying to build that bridge between the university and people in the public who aren't just recent graduates. So somebody who might be our elders and our ancestors in the community, to young folks, to kids, to teens and stuff like that, and to do programming and hosts of all kinds of really interesting conversations. And I think my most exciting growth that I got to witness with Project Humanities was to see the development of the hackathon. I got to participate in that hackathon as a volunteer, and just to see the growth of what that's become has been really, really exciting. And then with COVID, right, we had everything switched, and the modalities in which we gained information changed, and we were a world that was experiencing great loss and suffering and confusion and fear together collectively, more than we probably had realized before. And Project Humanities kept going. They kept having conversations with everyone in the format of where we are now, the electronic format, and Zoom and Facebook and podcasting and all of this stuff. And I think that speaks a lot to what Project Humanities stands for. It's not only the tenets of the humanities, but it really is about how do we meet folks where they are? How can we teach and engage people in conversation that begins with the people, begins with the human in the humanity.
Yeah, you're completely right. And just some background on myself, I'm actually an intern who joined this summer, so during the COVID era. So I've actually never experienced how it was in person, but I've been able to go to one of the service outreach programs, and it was indescribable. So I'm so glad you got to experience how it was before with in-person meetings. And then
absolutely, yeah. Well, good work for you.
Yeah.
The interns have done such great work at keeping this alive and in the digital realm. So thank you for that.
Of course. And I know we're talking about how you've seen Project Humanities grow, but my next question is actually kind of the opposite. How has Project Humanities helped you grow as a person?
Looking in is always harder, isn't it? I would say that really it was the opportunity to see and hear Dr. Lester speak at that East Valley NAACP event, and then seeing him partner with Marlon and Tomas, who started Phonetic Spit, and seeing him interact with the youth at that time was really important to me. I was in my mid to late 30s, coming out of college, wanting to get into education, and seeing how adults interact with young folks with lots of aspirations and dreams and some silliness and naivete in the world was really awe-inspiring. And so pretty much anything Dr. Lester did, I was really motivated to become a better person as a student, and now as a teacher, as somebody who wants to reach people the way that he has. So Dr. Lester in that regard. But it was those early interns and program people like Johnny Martin, who really didn't just design a program to have a program. And that happens in a lot of arts and humanities fields, particularly here in Arizona. they put on programs that they want to put on, as opposed to putting on programs that meet the needs of the community. And so that early staff really worked hard at meeting the community where they were and finding out those conversations. And that in turn for me helped me understand the type of teacher I wanted to be, what the community organizing work that I've been engaged in, what that looked like, was all inspired originally by what Project Humanities was doing. And then from a larger perspective, I have been doing a lot of that community advocacy work around homelessness and incarceration and immigration over the last 6 years. And knowing how to have conversations with folks that have situations and experiences and lives that I may not understand has really been fostered and cultivated because of the types of and the range of conversations that Project Humanities has had with community members. And so it's always just been a model. I am forever a student. I am forever a teacher. I'm forever looking at ways to improve. And whenever I have any questions or doubts in the world, whenever I feel lost and sad, it's been great to be able to reach out to the Project Humanities team to either experience a program or really just have one-on-one conversations with the staff and the interns and the volunteers. I think, it being a world renowned, world awarded, highly awarded program is one thing, but if you talk to the average person, which you all are doing with this anniversary, has been really something special. I think to hear the connections that you have and the impressions that you can get from us, hopefully will continue to grow the program, because without Project Humanities, I wouldn't have been in the community organizing circles I was in. I wouldn't have been the type of teacher that I've become. And just the human side of me, it was there. It just is nice to know that I could practice my humanity the way that I did in community with other folks, that where it was safe to challenge and safe to explore and safe to make mistakes.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think something that's like really cool that you touched on was that a lot of projects, or a lot of programs put on programs that they want, but Project Humanities tries to do what the community wants.
Yep.
And I know we already talked about how Project Humanities has helped people through COVID, but when you say Project Humanities tries to do what the community wants, even after COVID is over, hopefully sooner rather than later in the future, what do you think Project Humanities can continue to speak to what's happening in our communities, both our local community and our global community, and what kind of projects can they put on or have they been putting on in order to respond to that?
I think it's a really interesting question you ask. I do a lot of ministry work as well now. And so when we're doing work that wants to highlight the experiences of the human condition, you have to imagine what the future looks like, or even more so reimagine what the future looks like in this case. And so I think that anything that Project Humanities, it's always been one step ahead of the game. It's like, oh wait, I didn't even know what a hackathon was. Oh wait, what is a university-based institution doing outside of the campus to serve folks who are experiencing homelessness? This is all stuff that breaks the boundaries and the stereotypes about what universities should be doing. They brag about doing it, but the reality is many don't, right? It's left up to an individual levels, but Project Humanities is a whole larger program, a group inside of a larger group that really does the work. And you're also far more innovative than I can ever dream to be, but I hope and know that Project Humanities will continue to create the conditions for us to live in a different world. And whether that be through podcasts, right? You think, oh, a podcast is just a singular experience. But I know for me, probably because of my age bracket, when I do have conversations with comrades, colleagues, and friends, it is always like, oh, I've been listening to this podcast. I get halfway through it and I'm already sharing it with somebody, or I'm bringing it up in my sermons, or I'm making I am. I shouldn't have said that, but I do. I do make my students listen to podcasts as a different form of modality of learning and such. And so to continue to put products out there, and not like the consumer product, but the products that make us think and question and dream and live differently. I think Project Humanities has like the secret code that knows how to do that far better than most of us do, but not to take away from the forms of technology that really do, sadly, I guess, maybe for my generation, sadly, that we can still find connection through technology that isn't social media driven. And that's the great thing, is I don't ever find out about anything from Project Humanities social media sites. Now I know that you're on there. Like when I go and want to confirm that I have the right time and the right day and stuff, I'll go to the social media sites. But it is one of the few emails that I make sure that I open every time I get it. So yeah.
Wow, thank you. And then I just have like one more question. I know we touched on a lot of things, but one thing that we didn't really touch on was like, what was the best program or the best project or thing that Project Humanities done that you particularly liked, and why?
Well, I would say definitely the service Saturdays, right? The program that is twice a month, along with the donations. I mean, to be able to support the folks who are experiencing homelessness, who are unhoused, who don't have shelter for all of the reasons. I think that by far is a wonderful program, because it is actually having a direct impact that you can see. People are developing friendships with people that they may not have before because of Project Humanity. So on the outside facing, and it's not a charity model. It's not, there's a big difference between charity and equity, and Project Humanities does such a good job at centering the human and the dignity of the human. And so it's not a charity model, which is a beautiful thing. But some of the other programs that I've been able to participate in that I've absolutely loved, I don't remember the name of the program, but it was a conversation with Black veterans and their experiences in the military. There was a male and a female, and my son happened to be out visiting at that time. He's now grown or whatever, but he happened to come back to Arizona, and we went and saw that program. And it was one of the most moving experiences, because my son, as a triracial Black presenting man, was thinking about going in the military. Then he had a different perspective, and it helped him to reevaluate his decision and to decide what would make more sense for him moving forward. So that one impacted me in very personal ways. But the hackathon is the coolest thing I've ever participated in, period. I know you said pick one, but I just gave you three. I encourage anybody to participate in a hackathon. It's a really cool, fun, quick experience where you'll walk away enamored.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually hoping to work for the hackathon, so I'm super excited for that. And
nice.
Thank you. And then the one thing I just wanted to end this interview talking about the service Saturdays, because I've been a part of hopefully more than one, but as of now, only one. And I just wanted to share end this by sharing something that Dr. Lester said to start us off. You said that something that you really loved was that it was more about equity and humanity rather than charity, which is super important. One thing you told all the interns and volunteers was, remember that these people aren't looking for a job. Like, you shouldn't be offering them jobs. You shouldn't be saying that you need to get out of the situation, because it's really a bunch of circumstances. You can't judge these people. The only thing you should do is just give them a bit of humanity, because they're often denied that. And that's something that really stuck to me and really changed my perspective on the not just the homeless, but just the poor in general, and like how society operates. And I just think it was really cool for Dr. Lester to just do that, to just give these people the humanity that they deserve.
Right. Absolutely. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story with me.
Of course. And yeah, I think that this interview is like over. I think it went really well. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for saying these
Yeah.
words to celebrate the 10-year anniversary, and we should hope for its continued success.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We're definitely gonna have another 10, and I just wish you the best of luck. You have a great mentor, and some, the program staff there now is just absolutely fantastic. So congratulations and good luck to you on your journey. I'm sure we'll be running into each other more.
Of course, of course. Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.